Art class is a blessing to me and other students because it creates a very stress-free environment and it gives us the opportunity to be creative and to show how God has blessed us all with different talents and different ways that make up us. It allows you to really just kind of figure out who you are and figure out what your talents are and figure out what God has blessed you with. And I think that that's very important to our school. I feel like it's definitely a blessing to me. I always look forward to going to art class every single time I have it, and it just makes me feel like I'm actually doing something worthwhile in this school, and I am really showing everybody else who I am and what I do. When you make a piece and you can take a lot of different things from it, and I play a lot with lights and darks and how that can be connected with evil and good and how God has taken over the darkness. A lot of Concordia students, they're very talented and their pieces get put places other than Concordia, like St. Francis. I know quite a few students have had pieces put there in a contest, and it really just shows how great Concordia really is and what talents the students have. I'm very blessed to work with people that share the same passion I do, and to work with teachers who are so talented and so creative and really let you explore different ways to do things and different ways to express yourself. And it's also I feel very blessed that our school has such a great art department, that we really have built up a good reputation for the things that we do.
This class is probably a great blessing because you really get to share your creativity. You really get to show what you can do with what you learn. And it's not exactly something you can do in the Core 40 classes or anything like that. These are something where if I have an idea, if I have something I want to share, I want to put out there, then I can do that. I have the equipment, I have the ability. God made us all different. Even in my animation class, I look at what I drew. We're working on walk cycles. I drew a robot. The guy next to me drew some sort of king figure. Guy next to him drew an alien. I mean, it's all part of this idea and the blessing that we all see things differently. We all want to portray ourselves differently. The community in general is a blessing. Being able to work with other people who not only understand what you're working with, but also what you're working towards and the specific type of art that you're trying to do. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad that God put me here and gave me this opportunity.
One of the main reasons I came to Concordia was for the great theater program that we have here, just that whole fine arts aspect, being on stage and acting, being a part of musicals and singing and dancing. It's kind of my forte. Ever since I was young, I felt like God kind of blessed me with the passion for acting. I love being an entertainer, and I love the whole theater troupe and the way that you bond with people when you're a part of a cast together. One of my favorite shows that I did is called Lost in Yonkers, and I kind of like that. It was short cast list, and it was only a couple of people, so that really strengthened the bonding process that I got to have with that cast. And it was a really deep show, kind of focused on moral values and how you build, and I felt like that was kind of one of those things where God put that in my life to kind of redirect me and kind of focus me on the kind of person that I want to be. So that show was a huge blessing. And especially here at Concordia, it's a huge blessing to be a part of a Christian troupe in acting, and that's such a huge thing because we can build up with each other and grow together with God as we perform shows, not only for the fun of it, but also for His glory. And that's a great thing, I feel like. the way that we do perform our shows, we always try to incorporate our Christian background into the show. At the end of the show, we bow, and then we point to the tech booth, and then we point to the pit if we have an orchestra, and then we point to God because we really want to give the glory. And I feel like just kind of showing that we are doing this for God's glory and with the gifts that God has blessed us with, I feel like people that are outside of our atmosphere kind of plants the seed. So in that way, we're doing that through acting at Concordia.
I've been extremely blessed to be a part of choir all of my life, and so going into Concordia is something that I always knew that I'd be a part of, but I never realized how big of an impact that it'd have on me, specifically once I got to my sophomore year and I was in a cappella. Just the connections that I've made with those people are they're forever lasting connections, and it's something that I'll always have to look back on.
When I started choir, I started my junior year. I'd never been in a school choir, and when I came in, I thought I was going to hate it. And it was the complete opposite of that. I had a few friends that actually talked me into trying out for a cappella my sophomore year, and ever since I joined it, I've loved it. The connections that I've formed with everyone have really been long-lasting bonds, and I'm closer with some of those guys than I've been with, family that I have or people that I've known since elementary school. So those family bonds is what really keeps me going back to choir and what's really been a blessing to me.
When we're on tour, every single one of those concerts matters in a completely different way, and it's a different experience depending on who's in the audience. Even though we don't know those people, we don't realize the impact that we're having on them and how amazing it is. At one of our concerts on the past tour that we went on, because just got back from New York City, I was standing in the front because we circle the audience to sing "The Lord Bless You and Keep You." And I made eye contact with this lady the entire time because she was just staring at me and she was sobbing. And so then I was sobbing because it was like we were speaking to each other through the words that we were singing. And ever since then, it's given me a completely new outlook on things, especially because it's my senior year. But when you see the people in the audience crying, when you see the people around you crying, when you think about the words that you sing, it's just, I don't even know if I have words for it.
Our last tour concert we had in Solon, Ohio, we were singing "Abide With Me," and that's always a song that really gets a lot of people crying because we really recognize how blessed we are to be in that space with that group of people singing to our God. And we were singing "Abide With Me," and we got to one of the verses, and I just started bawling. I could not keep it in. And I was around all my friends, and we were hugging and crying while we were singing. And I remember a lady in front of me, I looked down at her, and she was just bawling her eyes out, and she just gave me a thumbs up. And at that moment, I really felt a connection with that lady and with my friends and with God. It's moments like that that really help me recognize how much of a blessing it really is to be in choir.
The great thing about music, the great thing about fine arts is that it provides a window, a portal, I guess, that you can express your own thoughts, your own personality, and the things that are important to you. What's great about Concordia and what sets fine arts apart at Concordia and music apart at Concordia is that you can use those portals and those windows for something that's glorifying to God. And you can take that piece that's inside of you that's important and share it with everybody. So it's really awesome. There have been a lot of opportunities with band that give you the opportunity to witness because of the nature of the activity. It's a performing activity, and so you're out there, you're in front of people, and your actions are kind of put out there for everybody to see. And so obviously in a lot of our programming for band, we have Christian songs, we have hymns and stuff like that we're playing. But beyond that, I think the real testimony that we can give is to the people who come to our concerts, to the way that we treat one another and treat the people that we come in contact with. Those things set us apart more than the music that we play. We have the ability to be a blessing to the local community, but because of the fact that we go on tour, we have opportunities to be blessings to most of the entire country through the different tours that we do. And so there have been a lot of times when we've been playing at a church, far away from Indiana, and somebody who's never seen us before and has no contact with us before, no connection to the church, says, I came to your concert today, and I was just so moved and so touched, and it's brought me to tears, and really brought me back to my faith. And so I think that's something that we do in the community, but that's something that we do throughout the larger area as well to be a blessing. We look for every opportunity that we can here to be making a difference to the people in this room, to the people inside this school building, to the people outside in the larger community. And when you go into things every day, and that's your prayer from the beginning of every day, to go and make a difference, that changes the way you look at things. And so this program is an amazing blessing, and it touches the lives of every single person that steps foot inside of it.